Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Today I have the opportunity to work on a reel that has failed. This is a Shimano SW 8000 PG, lots of names on that, Spheros. So it's the saltwater version of the reel. This one does not have oscillation. That spool is stuck. If you'll notice, it is not going up and down. We're going to take this reel apart. We'll show you how to service it and figure out what's gone wrong inside mechanically, and we'll see if we can't order the pieces and parts as necessary to make this reel go again. On a whole, it's in nice condition. There's a lot of scrapes and bumps on the handle here. That usually is indicative of something that's kind of banging around on a boat or that, but it's only in one area. Well, it's on two sides, so somebody pliered this. I don't know why, but there's a plier mark on this side and a plier mark on that side. So not quite sure what was going on there, but somebody certainly took the time to try and wrench it for some reason. Well, we're going to take the reel apart. It started to come apart immediately with that adjuster button, but we'll take it apart. We'll show you how the reel is made, how to service it, and how to get it back to where it should be. We're going to start by removing the exterior pieces and parts. Already did that with the button. The spool can come off, and the larger pieces and parts I'll put off to the side, but the smaller ones, well, they go into a parts tray, and I use that for my safekeeping of the parts so that I know where they are when it becomes time to reinstall. Before I get too much further along, I want to encourage you to subscribe to my channel. If you do subscribe to my channel, please use the notification button. That'll let you know the videos that I'm working on, and you'll be able to see which ones kind of apply to you, which ones you'd like to learn more about, and you can go watch them. I pulled a schematic for the reel, and I have the wrong schematic, but I think we'll be close enough to at least use it as guidance. This is from the FB Spheros. This one is the PG, so we may have to make some adjustments along the way. I would suspect maybe that the answer is in the anti-reverse clutch, but we'll find out. And if necessary, I'll go and get that schematic for the other reel. This should just come up and off. Hard to get these off sometimes because these little shim washers that adjust the spool line light height oftentimes pretty stubborn in getting off. Well, that's one, and that'll go into my parts tray. Sometimes the other two you can just kind of pick off, but again, this one, for whatever reason, just is a tight fit. They're always tight fits. There we go, got it off now. So take a note, the rings or the tines on that click button face down, and the two washers. This is a good place to tell you to take pictures along the way because, well, don't trust your memory, and well, that schematic is a nice backup, but sometimes it's just easier to make certain that you know how they go, where they fit, and have a reference point as a backup plan, which would be the pictures. The reason I'm starting here is that this side plate goes up and under the rotor, so there are going to be screws here holding that side plate on. We've got to get to them, and the way to get to them is by removing that click ratchet and then taking the other steps to remove the rotor. When I remove the screws from the rotor, I'm going to start right away by putting them on my desk to make sure that those screws are the same size. And this is one of those things where you just can't assume. You'd like to assume that they're all going to be the same size. In this case, they are. But there could be an example where you find one that is not the right size, and you want to make sure that you identify it, and you want to identify the place where it sits. Well, as we mentioned, this whole thing is loose. I want to find a deep socket now. You might be able to get a closed end or an open end wrench on that stud, but if you can't, then you want to go to a deep socket. I keep my sockets nearby because, well, I've learned that just when you think that a wrench is going to work, it doesn't. All right, we got the socket. It's a 15 millimeter. We're going to try first in a traditional manner, that is, counterclockwise. That's not working. So I'm going to turn it in the opposite direction. So this is a reverse threaded nut. Comes off by turning it clockwise. Again, it looks like there was an awful lot of beating up going on this one as well. So I suspect somebody tried to wrench it in the wrong direction and, well, scarred up the piece. There's a water seal here, and underneath that there is a plastic ferrule inside that nut. So those little cap assemblies, they're all sitting in the corner of my parts tray now. With that nut removed, we can remove the rotor. Next up, we have this shield on your reel, and that's going to be somewhere in here is going to be hiding some screws, I suspect. So we'll just continue. There's 4 of these. Again, I'm going to lay these down just as I did the other one. And those schematics, well, they're telling you how this whole thing sets up. Okay, we're going to just see if we can't lift that shield. And now we have the vibration ring. That would be next. That's going to open up that side plate case here. You got to be careful with these. These are little rubber bands kind of a thing. So be careful as you open this up. You want to make sure that you remove it, but that you don't use something sharp like a utility knife or something that's going to cut it. So those 3 pieces, the rubber band, the shield, and the inner shield, and the 4 screws are going to go to another corner of my parts tray as we continue to work through this. Here's your 2 screws on that side plate case. Here's a third. And then there's a screw down here holding that bump guard on, that silver piece. And that's the one we want to get to in terms of a screw probably right there being held on. Yep, right there. There's 2 more screws there. So again, just take your time. You don't have to rush. There's no points awarded for going fast on reel repair. What you really want to do is focus on the service itself, and in this case we're doing the why did this reel fail segment of this so that we can restore this reel and keep it fishing for a long time to come. I did check on that FB, trusting my memory again, like we were saying about those take the pictures. I was trusting my memory, and didn't realize it was a PB. And models do change, and sometimes the mechanics change, sometimes they don't. So you just need to be aware when ordering the parts. Make sure you have the right schematic, which will identify which parts are numbered and belong in this reel. I get asked questions from time to time, where do you get parts for these? There's a couple of good Shimano parts suppliers. There's Dave's Parts and Reel Repair, or Platinum Parts. Sometimes they go by either in Tampa. There's Southwestern Parts down in Dallas. I believe E-Replacement Parts, which is a online catalog kind of a part thing. I believe they hold Shimano parts as well. I can't get that one out. We'll just leave that there. I'm trying to take them out. One to compare, make sure I know where the spots are. And the other one because I don't want them to fall out as I remove the case. Well, I've skipped ahead a bit. You didn't need to see me undo all those screws, but we have 2 large screws that belong up top under that rubber band. We have the 2 painted ones which go on the opposite side, and we have the 1 silver smaller screw which goes at the base. Again, pictures help when you're doing that before you take those screws out. Do that. It will be a lifesaver sometimes in trying to figure out how to put it back together again. Alright, this should come out now. The case and body separate differently. We have our main gear, but I think what we have to do here is remove the, well, let's see if the main gear comes out. Yeah, the main gear is not going to slide behind. Okay, I think I have to go up top in order to get this done. We'll pull the assembly up. This is the cap and the instant anti-reverse. This is the collar. Now we have the pinion gear assembly. Oh, we have a little seal as well. And a pinion gear assembly. Again, pictures are going to help tremendously here because there's a lot of pieces and parts coming off this reel. Go for the third one. And I like to mark this collar because it's easy to put these upside down. So one of the things you'll notice is you have a taper inset on the one side and not the other. Bring that over to my parts tray corner. I should be able to pull up and out now on our gear. And now that should give me the clearance. If I pull this out, give me the clearance to bring this up and out. This way. I don't know why Shimano does that. It's almost impossible to get this those two screws out. Now we can remove this. And this is an oddity because I'm not seeing any broken parts in here, but we don't have. I wonder if this got misseated. Very unusual. Makes me wonder. Well, I'm going to test a couple of things. I'm going to put the, we have a sliding main gear issue here. Wow. Something broke off the main gear so that when this tries to drive the reel, it's broken. Now I notice that there's a C-clip here. I'm just wondering what broke. Very unusual. Okay, well, you learn something every day. This is a surprise. Let's try and remove that clip. This is the clip holding that gear in. There's a flat spot here that should hold on that gear. And this gear is cracked. It's hard to see it, but this gear is cracked right here. And I guess what happened is that flat spot became elongated and broke. Very interesting. Wow. Okay. Well, we learned something on this one. We learned a very unusual reason for why this reel failed. And what we do next now, we're going to go to one of those part sources, see if we can't get that part. And then we can, we can come back and reinstall this and make it work. So what we were saying about taking the pictures is very important because these parts are going to have to sit. There's no sense trying to reassemble any of this. These parts will sit until the part comes in, and then we'll replace that part and reassemble the reel. So the pictures would help you tremendously because you got to walk away from this project right now until such time as you can get that replacement gear there. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little analysis. It's always fun to learn things about particular fishing reels. And more importantly, it's kind of fun to make them work again and give them a second chance. So everybody who's watching, I want to thank our first responders, people involved in public safety, and all the things that you do to keep us safe. And to everyone, please stay safe, stay well, and stay watching. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Have a great day.